Okay, so what you ain't listening to me? He's just not listening. Every time I tried to get him to come out of his office, he just said something about thieves and once pants? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm worried he's fallen back into chaos corruption.
Oh God, give us mercy, protect us and preserve our souls.
I appreciate your prayers. Hopefully the Lord will grant us protection and mercy. Of course, God helps those who help themselves. Look, I need to fill this script some. Let's just... I don't know. The voice ain't talking as much, so maybe it's calming down, but those ships outside is rather worrying. Any theories about them? You were Dark Eldar. Any sort of ideas?
My first assumption is some sort of warp gate, but I don't know how an Imperial ship does a warp jump, so I don't know if one could use those to make them. Of course, we are in the Ghoul Stars, so it could be something not within the realms of chaos.
Yeah, the warp does stretch a lot farther than what we know. The Tau reached beyond the chaos portion of the warp, found a warp entity their human thralls have made that was essentially the greater good, kind of. Of course, the Tau involved in that situation tried genociding humans for that very reason, but your idea is actually a solid one. I wonder if Malice is using this to come back into real space. Wait, is it Malice or Malal? I'm pretty sure it's Malice, and yeah, he is canon as the Sons of Malice were in the Fall of Cadia book. So Malice is in the setting, even if the stories about him coming into real space are retconned, they're real to me.
You really like this story behind the Chaos God of Anarchy, don't you?
Yes! I'm a guy who hates the government, no matter who's in charge, and I'm really pissed off that the anti-tax guys decided to raise the goddamn debt ceiling.
You good there, David?
No, I'm angry now. It's eaten the little amount of fear I felt for the moment. Let's talk about something that makes me happy.
Giant-ass robots?
You're right, giant-ass robots. I want to talk about why I love the Imperial Knights and how you should play them until the Codex finally drops and it upends my playstyle, which was already in the ground. So, why do I love the Imperial Knights and not the Chaos Knights? Well, I don't have an opinion on the Chaos Knights. I don't know why, but my brain just won't try Chaos, despite having the Chaos Knights Codex. So, the only reason I prefer Imperial Knights is because they're Imperial. That's it. But why do I like Knights? Well, they're surprisingly a cheap army, as you usually only need like 8 or 9 models. 10 or 11 units is an average army. Now, with each model costing almost $200 each, it's not exactly easy to start, but once you get into it, you'll very often find yourself pretty happy. Another thing I really like about Knights is completely artistic. Knights let me customize a lot, because there's no Knight house rules anymore, like chapter rules, so you're allowed to paint anything you want on these models. Now, my models are pretty simple, black and red with silver trim, usually using mechanical markings with a mix of Imperial markings. But once you get comfortable with posing and kit bashing and maybe even custom made pieces, this army can be an artist's dream. I'm actually working on my buddy's Chaos Knights, and I'm looking at them with an artistic lens. He's asking me to paint his big knights in the fashion of Digimon and Gundams, while he is allowing me to paint his war dogs like Transformers, which is easier said than done, so I may find something else he may like. The fact that they're so big, it also makes it a lot easier to cut bits and change their legs, allowing you to customize their bases a lot more. I've got 3 ideas for how to do bases for these Chaos Knights. One idea is standard city bits while using plenty of pieces from Space Marines, Custodians, and Necrons to give my friend a bit of an ego boost because he deserves it. Another idea I have is a wooded zone with trees being ripped apart and rocks to step on, with some action posing on his knights tearing apart the forest. And the last idea is a stony volcanic environment, but I need to get some resin that looks like magma, which I've been having trouble getting for a very long time. I genuinely like the first two options most, because I don't know if I'll be able to get the magma or the airbrush I'd need in order to fog it in a good way. I like the forest idea the most, but I'll likely throw it in bits of other armies in too, just to make it more interesting. Of course, I also mentioned the building bits. I'm working on a custom mask for the friend's Knight Castigator, because he wants it to look like Omnimon, which I vibe with hard. Honestly, I could keep going on about the artistic bits of Knights. There's a lot more to them that I like too, and that boils down to one simple word: variety. Yes, different weapons essentially make each Knight unique with unique abilities, and this gives me an excuse to simply use magnets on one model and have at least 4 different options. Of course, the Chaos versions combine the Imperial versions into one each with one ability, but specific weapons options in the case of the Dominus to Tyrant. Of course, the limited options of the Chaos versions, they have more unique models, each with a different unique ability. Half a dozen plus War Dogs, the Dominus, Questoris, and Abominant boxes, plus the new Ruinator, which is essentially an anti-vehicle knight, making it best against the Mechanicus, Custodes, and Guardsmen. Honestly, knights are great. They've been absolutely middle of the road until recently, which makes the recent increase of their wounds but lowering of everything else kind of negligible. But the OC changes are, still questionable.
What are you talking about? None of that is why knights are your favorite.
What? Yeah, you're okay. And what do you mean? Everything I said is right.
Let's be honest here, the reason you like knights so much is because you're 5'4" and Napoleonic and enjoy big fuck-off robots.
Man, you don't mean to call me out like that. That actually hurts.
What were you talking about earlier with the pants and thieves? Is the voice messing with your head? Is it the Chaos Forces?
What? What are you talking about? I wasn't talking about pants or thieves. That voice isn't chaos, it's just Gene Stealer messing with y'all.
It's Dean Stealer. Well, I guess I'm known.
Are you fucking kidding me? We've been panicking for damn near 2 weeks because Dean Stealer has been fucking with us? Nah, shove off.